What's up, peeps? My name's Tom from Dark Link Designs, and this is my co-host Kayla from Lez Geek Out, and we are the Geeky Drinkers. So we are sick still.
As hell.
Getting a little bit better. Alcohol helps.
It helps a little bit. You know what it does? It makes you forget you're sick.
That's very true. I still think I should have got some Fireball whiskey. Clears the sinuses.
Up.
Yep. But this is actually going to be a pretty sweet episode.
I'm pretty pumped.
So our theme this week is console gaming versus PC gaming. So then I'm kind of nervous about
what I have to say.
No, I have no doubt that
How I'm gonna win.
I gotta stop. Please. No, it's gonna be a good episode. I got a lot of stuff.
I'm gonna tell you guys now, we don't actually hate each other by the end of it.
Oh no! Oh, that's the Batman Legend of Zelda one. We gotta refilm that one because there was issues with
that one was a hatred episode.
No, it wasn't. That was man. We'll
there was so much information I had. It was nuts.
That's mine this time. And this is so I'm obviously I game more on consoles. Kayla games more on PCs. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to be taking the console side of things, and I'm actually going to be going through each major console that's been released in North America since I'll kind of explain everything.
Yeah.
But just home consoles, so not including mobile devices, Game Boy, Sega Genesis, or anything like that.
They don't really count in a sense.
No, they
don't.
absolutely do. That could be a different, easily a different episode because there's a lot. There's actually way more. When I was researching this, there's way more handheld consoles than I realized.
Yeah.
There's actually way more. There's actually a couple console. I've looked at home consoles before in the past. And even still, I was surprised that I found some of the ones that I did. I was just like, what is this? And it's really interesting, some of the partnerships and stuff like that. So it's going to be a fun episode.
I kind of shortened my list this time because in the Batman Legend, I was really bad.
I had to shorten mine. I'm going to be using my iPad, just so
notes.
You guys know. She's going old school paper.
I'm a writer. If anybody follows Lez Geek Out, it's a writing website. So.
So yeah, we'll start with the drinks and kick this off.
Yeah.
No bad blood, I promise.
You want to start?
So I'll start. I'm nervous on this one because this one's a lot of booze. So I'm making a drink after one of my favorite games of all time, Super Mario Kart for the Super Nintendo.
And friendships, relationships, and family.
Yeah. So I'm actually making a drink called Rainbow Road. So it's a surprising amount of alcohol because that's how you want to feel after you beat Rainbow Road.
Yeah.
If you stay on it.
I'm the only one who's actually literally stayed on Rainbow Road.
No.
I don't fall off.
My daughter and my wife get mad at me because I do the same thing on Super Mario 8.
It's not that hard. Use your brakes. There's such thing as a brake button.
I always do. Well, especially in the newer ones. We have Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U. And I even got the deluxe version for the Switch because it's more or less the same, and I want to finish up that first.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I always go manual because you get the speed boost when you're going around. You get the it's like
drift?
2.5 seconds drift. Yeah,
drift.
So you
that's what I do is I usually do it when you press the 2 buttons and you drift around the corner, and people are like, "That's not fair. You should have followed." I'm like, nope.
No. That's why you choose manual and not automatic.
Exactly.
Who do you? Okay, so for Mario Kart, just really quick, and then I'll start my drink. Who's your favorite character in Mario Kart?
Koopa Troopa. I love him. He's fast, he's agile, he's small. It's so much easier to control, depending on the vehicle you choose for him, though. I usually do the bullet.
Oh, in the newer one. So since Mario Kart Wii. Because I believe that was the first introduction of that, if I'm not mistaken.
But way back when it depended on how I felt. But in the most sense, I do like the bullet. It's kind of it's sleek. It's
like
smooth.
The bullet.
It goes
too.
You're so fucking. But yes, I like the bullet.
It's vibrating like a good time. What was the first Mario Kart game you ever played? Or like what system was it on? So I'll be able to tell you what one it is.
The one that I can remember because I have lost childhood memories is GameCube. That was the first one.
So Double Dash.
That's the first.
Dash.
Yeah, that's the
nice.
First one.
That was
actually, it sounds bad because people are like, oh, there were so many before that, and I said
there really wasn't that many.
And
there
I
was
said,
Super Mario Kart.
I have brain damage, so I have lost some of my childhood memories. So I just go off of what I last can remember.
That works.
It works.
Mine, I always used to like school my. Actually, for a while, I didn't have a Super Nintendo, and my uncle had a Super Nintendo. So anytime we would go over there, we would always play Super Mario Kart, and he would just own me every single time.
That's my mom.
like every
my
single
mom
time,
owns me.
He's just like, "Yep, you're done," and I'm just like, "Man, what the hell?"
I've gone to that point where, like, literally, I'd always come in first place, and people were like, "Kayla, screw off!"
But at the same time, as soon as we got our Super Nintendo, it was on.
It was
because I remember like waiting until that Christmas. I'm like, "You're mine." Took him down.
We need to film a freaking Mario Kart.
Wait, I think it'd be funny. I wouldn't necessarily do like a tournament per se, but I would say
getting drunk and playing.
yeah, just like getting drunk and playing games. So I'm gonna start mine. I'm gonna try and let you guys see as much as I can.
Need a bigger table.
I know. So we're gonna start off with
Spencering out orange juice because he's a loser.
Shut up. All right, so I'm gonna be measuring it 4 ounces. Shut up. I'm gonna be measuring it 4 ounces of orange juice.
Who the hell measures out toppers?
This guy. This isn't a topper though.
The base?
Layered drinks, you absolutely should measure it out.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like.
And this is a layered drink, so
like,
I'm absolutely measuring it out.
Oh, orange juice.
You don't like orange juice?
Makes me vomit.
What?
I can eat oranges, but orange juice makes me so sick. So
really?
sick. I don't know what it is. It might be the concentrate. It might be, I don't know what it is. I can eat oranges like there's no tomorrow, though.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I have 4 ounces of orange juice. I have, still got my banana.
Okay, kind of goes to the Mario Kart theme.
Hey! Didn't even think of that. And then I have half an ounce of gin.
This actually feels kind of funny.
Yeah, it's a weird feeling. Like,
oh,
do I have enough? Oh, I've just enough. And that finishes that off.
Nice.
So no more. Oh, you're gonna...
I'm gonna screw you up.
You want the banana, eh?
Bananas f*** your life up in the game.
They can.
No, blue shell is.
Yeah, the blue shell owns. So I gotta mix that up.
Let's see how well you do a layered shot.
This isn't a shot though. It's a drink.
Layered
but
drink.
it'll be interesting.
The pressure's on, guys.
And then actually, I need. Sorry, guys.
He always forgets things.
I don't always forget.
You always forget things.
I need an extra one because I need to mix my grenadine right here and my rum. So you know that 150. So you know the 151 rum that I was using before?
Yeah.
Busting that out again.
Oh god.
So it's I believe it's 151 proof, 75.5% alcohol.
Lovely.
Fortunately.
And you're sick, so this is gonna be interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Fortunately, I only need. I'm gonna do a quarter ounce.
How much do you really need?
Half an ounce. Normally, it'd be a half an ounce of regular rum, but it's gonna be interesting, guys.
151 is beautiful.
Definitely is.
One drink, so you'll never see us use moonshine and oh my god, absinthe. I will never touch absinthe again.
I love absinthe. Have you had it? When was the last time? I had it like 4 years ago.
Prom night was my last use of it, and we were in the limo, and oh my god, you do not want to see Kayla after Abrinth.
After Abrinth.
You know what I mean?
Absinthe.
Absinthe.
Slurring. I love grenadine. It's my favorite.
Grenadine's good. Did you know grenadine and cola makes a Roy Rogers?
No. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be like cherry Coke, basically.
Pretty much.
Ooh.
Considered Roy Rogers.
So I got half an ounce of rum and half an ounce. Oh, that was bad move. Half an ounce of grenadine.
Oh, you are.
I have it though, because I'm used to just like making my own.
Do you want it?
So I gotta slowly pour it down the side. Nope.
I used to bartend, so I use spoons to make layered shots. It makes it look well when you're doing top on top on top, not bottom up. A lot of people they do bottom up.
No, that's actually not that bad. It's it's settling.
Yeah, but no, I mean like if you're doing for me, I've done drinks where I would have the base and then I'd put Bailey's on top, and with a spoon you can nice and layer right on top of the base instead of it dripping right to the bottom.
That's fair enough. After that,
He's gonna get white girl wasted.
I know. I need 3 ounces of
So you already did your vodka? Or no, it was
gin. That was gin. Pour right in.
Let's go, guys!
Yeah. So, 3 ounces of Smirnoff vodka.
Pink because of the...
And a couple splashes of Blue Curaçao.
Curaçao,
because we now know how to pronounce it.
I'm still going to pronounce it the way I did.
You shouldn't, though.
If they have a problem, they can come speak to me directly.
I have spoken to you directly.
I'm not saying you.
But
I'm saying the company. McGinnis. Is it McGinnis?
Yeah, it's McGinnis.
McGinnis.
So, I'm going to be mixing that up a little bit.
Down the side again?
Yep. Spill the episode. Woo!
We spill every goddamn episode.
I don't think we actually spilled last episode.
If we did,
I'm pretty sure we didn't.
I'm pretty sure we did. Actually, that's pretty cool.
All right, that's better success than I've had before. So this is actually that's kind of cool because you see like the red and the yellow. Is that green?
Greeny.
I'm colorblind, guys. So
greeny.
Kind of like green, and then there's the blue on the top. That actually turned out really nice. I'm gonna show you guys because I'm very proud of this. I hope you can see it. Yeah. So this is my Rainbow Road.
Nice.
What are you drinking today?
Okay, so if you've watched current episodes, past episodes, whatever, I am a Sims addict.
I'm surprised you have the ears on again and not the... Is it a plume?
Plum Bomb.
Plum Bomb. Okay, I guess.
If I did, I wanted to make one for this episode so bad, but I was so sick last week, I had no motivation.
Yep, fair enough.
So I did the ears. But if anyone plays The Sims as much as I do, I play way too much. But Second Life makes me escape reality for a couple seconds. So they made up their own vocabulary called Simlish, and the reason they did this is because it's cheaper, and if they did actual English, it'd be very repetitive. So they made Simlish.
Okay.
And my drink...
How would it be cheaper though? Because you're creating a whole new language.
Yes, but at least you could use the same words over and over again, without nobody noticing. I read all into it.
Okay. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
So basically, I'm doing Koomeba,
Koomeba.
which means kaleidoscope in Simlish. It's not multicolored like yours, but...
So, have you ever looked in to see if there's any similarities between, like, Simlish and
something hilarious?
The Minion language?
Kind of similar.
Is it?
Kind of similar. But you want to hear something hilarious? Bum Bum means I like you. In Simlish.
Well, of course.
Bum Bum!
Of course.
Anyways, okay, so 3 ounces of vodka.
Well, at least I'm not alone on the 3 ounces of vodka.
What?
Spill.
I know. Wow.
Oh, you're just going at her, eh? Going right for it.
2. I'm gonna die.
I think you're actually doing more than an ounce.
A little bit. Little bit.
A little bit.
And then it's 2 ounces of lemon juice. And yes, I'm measuring out lemon juice.
Why?
Why are you measuring?
It makes it. Honestly, it really does make a difference. At least in you said 2. You said 2 ounces.
I think a little more.
A little more.
I did 2.
Yes.
Okay, and then an ounce
2 ounces of lemon juice.
And then an ounce of blue
tasty stuff.
Blue tasty
Curaçao is how you actually pronounce it. Because I looked that up for last episode, so now I know. And knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe.
Have you ever heard of G.I. Jose from Family Guy?
No. What?
Okay, so they make a joke about it.
I haven't kept up with Family Guy since...
I think Family Guy's life for me.
Season 6, I think.
So Family Guy is like life for me. I love Family Guy.
I don't actually know if I want to put an ice cube. Should I put an ice cube in?
I don't know, it's up to you. Anyways, and then top off with Sprite because I'm not a pussy and I don't fucking measure it.
Well, that I can understand.
Especially with how much vodka's in here.
3 ounces.
So it's a nice... Actually, I really like that blue color.
That's actually a pretty cool blue. Cool blue.
So that
Nice.
is a Koomeba.
That looks tasty.
A kaleidoscope. And the reason I chose this, everyone's like, when I was thinking about it, and I was like, kaleidoscope, that's multicolored.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, you know what? Screw it.
Mine's multicolored. That's actually really funny.
So, for my Sims Koomeba, kaleidoscope, and Simlish, this is what you get.
There we go. Cheers.
That is,
Whew.
that is different.
That is... Whew. That's a strong drink. Oh.
You can taste the lemon in mine.
You can taste the alcohol in mine. I know, eh? Looks amazing. Tastes, whew. Yeah, that's very lemony. Still good. Tasty.
It's blue. That's all I care about.
Alright. So, how are we going to do this?
I don't know.
Alright. So, why don't we start with, why we prefer console versus PC. What draws you to PC as opposed to using consoles?
More mods. There's a hell of a lot more
Fair
mods
enough.
in
Yep,
PC.
Absolutely.
You cannot do much on an actual console. And for me, I like modding my
Unless
stuff.
you mod the console itself.
Exactly, which can be very pricey in a sense.
No, not even necessarily pricey. You have to know how to do it, and you have to have the time.
And if anybody actually knows, PC gaming is a lot cheaper than console gaming, and we'll get into that a little more.
Yeah,
but
I'm going to debate you on that one.
I like mods, especially being a cinematic.
Yeah,
mods
absolutely.
are really amazing.
That makes 100%
and
sense.
It's a lot easier to do a hell of a lot more mods on PC than it is.
Absolutely.
And it makes gaming a hell of a lot more fun.
It basically, because it adds like a whole other dimension to the game.
Yeah.
Like especially like GTA, like the Grand Theft Auto series.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's pretty much a mod for everything.
Also, not to mention, every game that he's going to probably talk about has been made on a PC.
I'll debate that. Especially when you're saying like PC operating system. No, I'm going to debate that because
No, I'm saying most games are made on a PC.
No, I'm going to say that I see. I don't know. I would have to do research on that because I'm willing to bet that a lot of games are developed using Mac software.
It's still computers. What I'm saying.
It's computers, but not
When I say PC, I don't mean actual Microsoft.
You don't mean just
I mean
Windows?
like computers in general.
Oh well, of course.
So I mean, it's like
everything's developed on a computer because they're computer systems as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
the only games that aren't made on an actual Mac is Xbox One games, Xbox games because they're Microsoft. They're all created.
See, I'm gonna debate that because I know a lot. Depending on the developer, a lot of developers do use Mac, even in Microsoft.
So why do you like console then?
I like console because of the variety. I know I don't have to worry about. I basically know that my console is going to be here. I can use it on whatever kind of screen I want to have it on.
You do know you can get. I played on 3 screens for my PC.
However, this is the reason. The initial startup cost of consoles versus PCs is cheaper because you don't have to worry about getting a PC. So think about this. When it comes to costs for PC gaming, you have to. So even if you build your own computer, still probably, if you build your own computer, it'll probably be cheaper than this. But if you buy like just like an already pre-built rig, you have to factor in the cost of your motherboard. You have to factor in the cost of your case. Video cards are depending on how good of graphics you want to have, video cards can be very expensive if you're right on the cutting edge.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, the reason I say PC gaming is cheaper is because Steam, like PC gaming platforms, Steams and Origin, are quicker at getting you sales and discounts. So, also at the same time, and I'm going to throw this out here because I actually have it. Hold on one second. Okay, so a $400 computer can easily match an Xbox One or even outperform it than a PS4 and an Xbox 360.
$400 computer?
Yeah, literally.
Pre-built or like build yourself?
It's
because I will absolutely dispute that. A $400 PC? Not a chance.
You can upgrade anything in your PC. On a console, you get what you get. You can't upgrade your graphic card. You can't upgrade this.
Yep.
I mean,
I agree.
I mean, the thing is, you can go and buy a $400 computer. I've bought a $400 computer. I've bought a $150 graphics card, and mine was way surpassed any fucking console gaming. So
I don't know.
I spent $3 grand on building a computer. It's a hell of a lot cheaper, I can tell you that right now, to build your own PC than it is to buy a damn console. It is.
Yeah. I'll agree with that.
You know your PC is going to outlast that console.
It should, theoretically. You also have to factor in Windows operating system costs. So, like, different versions of Windows. Yes, Steam sales are amazing because it's digital content. It's all out there. And you can get a ton of games for dirt cheap. PC gaming, the games itself, definitely way cheaper because there's massive sales like that. There's absolutely not the same kind of sales that there are on the console side. There are discounts and stuff like that, but not nearly the same. However, they're starting to fill that gap with Xbox Live memberships and like the PlayStation memberships as well, where so every month there's either a different full game that you can download and just own just for having that membership, and that changes on a monthly basis, and you can do that for however long you have your membership. So there are kind of perks to it. Cost-wise, though, I definitely disagree. If you're paying
$500 for a damn console that doesn't even have as great graphics as a $400 computer, and people even
I will debate that on a $400 computer. I will absolutely debate that too.
I'm just saying in general, most of the graphics on a PC are a hell of a lot better than the console. They might seem a lot better on console, but you have to remember. Okay, so when it comes to PC, okay,
we're just starting and we're like super getting into it. I love it.
Like, I was going to tell you about game discounts, okay? So, like, Tomb Raider on Steam right now, well, not right at this moment, is, like, for $10, but to get on an Xbox One, you're paying $30.
Okay, but see, this is where...
So, I mean, you're paying really cheap for the console itself, but to get any games, you're paying out the ass
But this is where it's going to be kind of like an onion. There's layers to it, and there's different scenarios depending on the situation. Because you were just saying that you built a $3,000 computer. For that $3,000... that can get me, I would say, at least probably 4 gens. I would say probably 5 or 6 generations of consoles. But at least
I can mod my computer to be better. I can't. You guys are stuck with whatever processing unit is in there.
But that's what I'm saying, though. If you give me $3 grand right now and say over the next 10 years, let's say 15 years.
Okay.
Do a 15-year span. Because lately console cycles have been 5 to 6 years. So, keeping up with that, I would have absolutely better graphics because I would be keeping up with the current processing abilities and the current graphics that are being developed for that console when it's released. Whereas, the $3,000 system you bought, yes, at the start, fucking amazing. Hang on. I'm saying like just $3,000 cap though.
Okay.
It's amazing, but give it 3 years, your video card's out of date. It'll still work. Granted, it'll still work. Still look amazing.
I guess that's true.
Give it 6 years, you're way behind. Give it 10 years, you're outdated. Most of the newer games that are coming out, you're not going to be able to play because it's not going to be compatible with it because it doesn't have the processing ability and the hardware capabilities to run that game.
It's almost like Roller Coaster Tycoon. You can't play it on certain computers now.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, and I'll just be super clear. I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying, depending on the situation and depending on what you're looking for, each one could potentially be better. Because there are absolutely things that I wish that I could do on consoles. Absolutely wish.
Like, especially mods.
Mods, absolutely.
Mods are life for me.
That's number one. Number one. Because
I
can't unless I want to like do homebrews for I don't know what it is on the Xbox or the PlayStation, but homebrew is basically what you use, at least for the Wii, to mod it so that you could basically just get ROMs and stuff like that and input it. So that kind of brings down costs, but that's a whole other story. But that's what I'm saying though. Like it's definitely it depends on what the parameters are when you're comparing the two. So it's very like to have just like a straight out like black white answer, impossible. Impossible, because that will 100% come down to personal preference, what's available at the time, and your budget. So there's so many different factors
like
that
I said,
all go into
like
that.
console components can only be good for so long.
Correct.
Whereas when it comes to like it becomes very expensive for an average person.
See, I'm gonna debate that as well, because I still have an Atari 2600 downstairs that was made in the 80s that will still work.
It works, yes, but what I'm saying is they're not up to date with the graphics, right?
Oh, 100%.
So what I'm saying is when it comes to computers, you can switch out things so easily. With consoles, you can't do that.
Correct.
Without buying a whole new console.
Correct.
So after a while, it is a lot
mods
more expensive. After a while. If you were the type of person who would switch out certain things, aspects of your console, or constantly buying new consoles every time it comes out. Whereas, like me, I had I put $3,000 into my computer, but at least I know, I was like, oh, okay, so I only need to switch out my graphics card. It's not going to cost me as much as you guys going and buying an $800 fucking console. Where
consoles are never $800.
You know what I'm saying, though?
I know, but I want to
buy a whole new machine.
But the hard part on this debate, though, is that it can't be left to. Oh, well, you know what I mean, because it's like, no, we got to get down to, like, some...
Well, like, as I'm saying, when it comes to certain consoles, like, for me, I had a $3,000 computer, which I don't have anymore, but for me, I would be like, okay, so I need a new graphics card. That's it, that's all I need, is a new graphics card. If you guys want better graphics, you gotta go full out and buy a brand new thing. I only have to pay about $250 to $300 for graphic cards, and you gotta pay about $500 for a goddamn console.
For an okay video card.
No, actually, I'm very, very convincing. I've got breasts, okay?
Yeah, but when it comes to online sales and stuff like that, or like online purchasing and everything
my really good graphic card right now, where'd you
pay for it?
How much
or like, where did you get it?
Well, there's a place up in Barrie, not too far from my mom's place, and it's not Canada Computers, because they're stupid.
I don't mind Canada Computers at all. They're decent.
It's an actual store for gaming computers. So you will not go in there and find anything under $100.
Okay.
Ever. So my graphic card I spent about $325 on.
Yeah, that's more realistic.
And my mom went out and bought a fucking new PlayStation for $500. So I mean,
but that's what I mean though. Just your video card component is 3/4 of the price.
Yeah, but I only have to change that so often. I don't have to buy a new console every so often like you guys do.
But it's 3/4 of the price of the console.
I understand that, but what I'm saying as well is that you don't. At least I don't have to go out and build a whole brand new computer where you guys have a whole new console.
For the most part. Because eventually, like, your motherboard's going to get outdated. Your processor's going to get outdated. Yeah. Eventually, you're going to have to rebuild your computer.
Yeah, but most of the time you don't need a top-of-the-line gaming computer to actually
That's 100%
play.
correct. 100% correct.
You could get, like, for me, I love Alienware, and that's what I built mine off of. But there are people out there that I know that are hardcore gamers, and they've got, like, HP or, like, whatever you call it, and it runs normal. Whereas, like, you have to go and actually get the top-of-the-line gaming system just to have those good graphics.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We don't have to have that really expensive computer to run Steam, to run Origin.
Oh, absolutely.
And whereas you guys, I mean, I will give you this. Batman Origins, Batman and green screen was too much for a PC. At first.
Was it more? See, and that's the other thing that I've noticed recently. When games are actually being released, game prices are identical
Yes.
across platforms,
They are.
which does make sense because that way it's making
But
it less.
PC gaming lowers real quick. And
oh, absolutely.
Another thing I've noticed about PC versus console is there is a vast library of games that you cannot get on console. You can only get on PC, including League of Legends. You know what I mean? You can't get it on console at all.
Yeah, fair enough.
You have to.
But at the same time, though, there's a lot of ones that, without getting like emulators and stuff like that, like the first party games, I imagine with the exception, I don't know how it is with Microsoft Gaming, but like Nintendo games, for example, getting an authentic copy of that, you're not going to be able to do that on PC.
Mm-mm.
Getting PlayStation like first party content, you're not going to be able to get that on PC.
It just varies. Like we each have pros and cons, right?
100%.
Which is kind of nice. That's a good debate. But how I see it as is like when I have Steam, and I've just realized that they had Roller Coaster Tycoon, which made me the happiest fucking person ever. And Roller Coaster Tycoon is now on your phone, the original. Just saying.
I thought it was 2.
No.
Roller Coaster 2? No, the original one. Okay.
The original. So I mean, it's just like how I was saying before. We can keep up with the the technology, whereas you guys have to go out and buy a whole new system.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean? But at the same time, yes, consoles are going to be behind cutting edge technology when it comes to PCs. Reason being is when they're putting 200 million video cards in a console, of course, they're not going to be able to get top of the line stuff because the manufacturing cost is going to be outrageous, and they don't want to pass that on to consumers, which is smart. Because if I'm a huge Nintendo fan, but if they came out with a console that was like $900, I'd be like, sorry, man, can't do it.
That's why they make it cheaper, because the graphics are less. Like literally, I'm not kidding. If you play PC, the graphics aren't as shitty as. But
with like the PlayStation Pro, for example, that's got 4K supportability.
I understand that. I really do. But what I'm saying in general is that when it comes to consoles and stuff like that, if they were to actually put it as good of graphics and everything like that, like as a PC, you're going to be paying out the freaking yin yang.
100%.
So they lower the graphic cards, they lower everything, and they make it
scale
cheaper.
It back a little bit. 100%.
So that's what I mean. Is PC's always one step ahead. Always.
Because there's that availability for
cheaper.
Individual consumers to get that.
That's like my number one argument. Cheaper and mods.
but see, that's the thing though. Like when it comes to cheaper, it depends on. I honestly don't think. Well, see, and that's the thing though. Like it is definitely an ongoing debate because they're like for me personally, consoles are cheaper.
Yeah, but if you think about it, PC, right? You get 3 games for the price of one console game on Steam.
On Steam, yes. But at the same time, outside of multiplayer games, how do you multiplayer on PC?
It's not that difficult, actually. They have cross platforms as well.
No. I'm not saying cross-platform. I'm saying how do you do local multiplayer on a PC? You can't.
You do. You can if your friends have PC.
PC. That's a local LAN. That's not
the only downfall.
And that's each person having their own. That's each person having their own PC.
But see, this is what it is. PC has mods. Console has multiplayer.
Well,
simple as that.
But no. Yes, but there's a whole bunch of different aspects. Like I know me personally, I want to spend like say $350, get my console, know that that's the cost that I'm spending for 6 years, outside of game costs and like amiibos and stuff like that. If I have almost all the Legend of Zelda ones, except for the most recent ones that are actually out, which makes me a sad panda. But I want to actually throw out a bunch of cool dates and some cool facts on the history of console gaming, because I think that's super important to know where consoles came from. So I have kind of a bunch, and then I'll let you do, because I know you got a whole bunch of notes too. So this is actually one thing that I just actually recently came across. So the first kind of thought of home-based video game console actually was in 1951, which is crazy because that's well
That's
before.
wartime.
That's well before, like,
Because they didn't come out until
consoles.
early 80s.
Like, exactly. So that's well before the time of, like, home consoles or, like, a home video game system.
Yeah.
And it was originally thought of by Ralph Baer.
Okay.
Now, he actually... Nice. That was a good spell. You got a whole bunch, like, right there. That's good.
Tis but a scratch.
Tis but a scratch. So there is so he was actually working for Magnavox. Have you heard Magnavox? So they're like a hardware manufacturer. They're still around, not for games or anything like that. But there is a collaboration between them and Sanders Associates, and they actually came out with a console called the Magnavox Odyssey in 1972. So that was the first like official like home video game console. And initially the concept of it was to have basically like your main board or your motherboard, and then depending on what game you wanted to play, whether it was like hockey or like tennis or like whatever, you would just simply flip a switch and that game would be engaged and you'd be able to play that. So they actually, through development and everything like that, they actually ended up canceling that idea and going for cartridges instead. So that was kind of the first introduction of cartridges into gaming, which have actually come full circle with the Nintendo Switch, which I'll talk about in a sec. The interesting part is that it had no CPU, so it had like none, and it actually sold about 100,000 units.
Huh.
Which in 1972 is pretty decent.
That is actually pretty good.
With that, Atari, which for most people kind of kick-started like video games with Pong, 1972.
Yeah.
But the interesting part too is they developed it for the Magnavox Odyssey without their permission. So there was actually a whole bunch of lawsuits like back and forth between that, and I didn't realize that. So eventually, Atari came out with their own system, the 2600, in 1977, and it had, it was doing okay. And when Space Invaders came out in 1980s, the big push for that to get people, because they would play it in the arcade and they wanted to play it at home. So that's where Atari was just like, you can play it at home, folks, and just boom. Just like skyrocketed everything. So that was 1980. Now Nintendo. Do you know the origins of Nintendo? So Nintendo actually originally started as a card game. So they started as a card game company. But in 1983 they came out with the Famicom, which is short for Family Computer.
Okay.
And in 1983, and they. So one of the main draws for that was that it had, I'm gonna put like super air quotes around this. They had high resolution like sprites. They had tiled backgrounds, stuff like that. And at the time, this was groundbreaking.
Yeah.
So that was released in 1983, but it didn't get released in the United States or like North America. All of the dates going forward, by the way, are all going to be North America dates because they're kind of, other than up until recently, they're very, very stagnated. Some consoles, even like a couple of years. So everything going forward is all North America dates.
Okay, cool.
So in the Nintendo Entertainment System, when they kind of like rebranded it as like the NES, like my jam, was released in 1985. And it was, at the time, it was the highest selling console in North America. I'm just gonna like rapid fire through dates. The Sega Master System came out in 1986. Atari 7800 came out in 1986, which was also backwards compatible with the Atari 2600 titles. So that's kind of the first introduction of like backwards compatibility, which is pretty neat. Because I didn't realize that. Atari actually had another console that came out in 1987 called the XEGS. So it didn't really do that great. But
I don't remember it, so it didn't do that great.
But TurboGrafx, that came onto the scene in 1989, and that was actually the first console to utilize 16-bit graphics.
Okay.
Which is pretty neat. Fast forward a little bit. Actually, same year, the Sega Genesis came out. 1989 in North America.
Life.
Yeah. So that's when like Sonic came onto the scene and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Neo Geo was introduced in 1990, which was the first introduction of like 24-bit graphics. And then same year, the Super Nintendo came out in 1990. But at the same time, like the Sega Genesis already had like a pretty good foothold. Like they had like millions and millions of units already in North America.
Sega Genesis was really good though.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It was super, super great. Now I have a question for you. Have you ever heard of a console called Laser Active?
No.
Yeah, me neither. It was introduced in 1993, and it was actually the first one to utilize laser disc and compact discs for games. So the first introduction of like CD-ROMs and stuff like that. There's also a console called 3DO that have you heard of that?
No.
Okay, you're nodding like
I'm nodding because I like. It's weird because there's all these consoles that I never even heard of, but they're there.
Yeah.
And people like my mom has told me all these consoles. I was like, Mom, what the hell? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes. Atari Jaguar came out in 1993, which technically had the first 64-bit graphics that were released. Virtual Boy by Nintendo came out in 1995, which was the first system to use...
I tell you, he's a Nintendo fan.
Little bit.
Little bit.
So that was the first system to introduce widescreen. And it actually had... it used something called stereoscopic 3D graphics.
Okay.
So that's kind of what the 3DS uses. So it actually puts a slightly augmented image in your left and your right eye.
Okay.
So like it would be the same image, but like one would be just a little bit off, so that your brain would interpret that as like a 3-dimensional image. Which was pretty cool.
That's actually pretty cool. Actually.
Yeah, it's really neat. Virtual Boy was not successful though. It
would be.
But it was before its time.
Makes sense.
That's where I think. Sega Saturn came same year in 1995. All CD-ROM based graphics. Super superior to all the other consoles. As far as like when writing 3D graphics came into play and everything like that. The only the humongous downside on that though is that it used, and I actually learned this today when I was researching it, it used quadrilateral images instead of polygons.
Oh.
So anybody that was developing polygon-based games had to literally rewrite the entire game for the Sega Saturn. That's why it wasn't as big of a commercial success. PlayStation actually came out in 95.
No.
95.
Like PS1?
PlayStation 1.
That doesn't sound right.
No, it does.
It doesn't sound right, though, you know what I mean?
It was the first console to sell over 1 million units.
Okay, honestly, PlayStation was life. Crash Bandicoot and Spyro were my life.
Agreed. The N64 came onto the scene in 96.
I thought it was before Sony one.
See, that's what I thought too. But again, this is where stagnated dates are.
Oh.
So these are all North America dates. So that's N64 was the last home console to use cartridges, because at that point everything was disc based. It was quite expensive actually to create the cartridges and everything like that. Excuse me. So because of that, they had a lot of limitations for soundtrack, for like 3D images, cutscenes, things like that. Dreamcast. Did you ever play Sega Dreamcast?
I've heard of it, but I've
never
really played
okay.
it. My mom did.
It was pretty good. But again, like there were some features that were kind of before its time and they weren't utilized properly.
See, if you guys came out with this shit later on, it would have probably done a hell of a lot better.
Yes. But that came out in 99. So just before 2000.
I still can't get over the fact that PlayStation 1 came out before N64.
Yeah,
it's
just
fun.
right before.
It's a mind blow.
But Sega Dreamcast was Sega's last venture into home consoles.
Until
just because
now.
No, you're thinking Atari.
Yeah, no, but Sega's been leaking some information lately.
About the Genesis Mini.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Mm.
I'm skeptical on it still.
Mm-hmm.
But it was actually the first console to utilize online gaming and have online availability.
Interesting.
PS2 came out in 2000.
No.
Yeah. PS2 is 2000.
No, it's not 17 years old.
Yes, it is.
Fuck me,
Yep. First
Shit.
console to be able to play DVDs, and it was redesigned in 2004.
I used it for a lot of DVDs.
100%. Because you would buy, because at that time, like, DVD players, they were expensive. Like, now you can get a DVD player for like $30.
Yeah, because Blu-ray's the shit right now.
I-
Blu-ray's becoming obsolete slowly, too.
No. Well, with 4K and everything like that, that's a whole other debate.
Everyone has Android boxes.
Yeah, that's true. So GameCube, my all-time
I like GameCube.
favorite console.
I played Sims on GameCube.
Did they have Sims on GameCube?
Yeah.
Really?
I have Sims busting out on GameCube.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But that
Sims
was
addict.
that was Nintendo's first disc-based system. But it's weird though because
They're like this big.
they were 8-centimeter discs instead of 12-centimeter discs. So
They were really small.
that was kind of weird.
I lost so many of them. I'm not kidding.
A lot of the decision on that was to prevent piracy. Because that's kind of when it was running rampant. And it actually had the first wireless controllers available, which was
I never had a wireless
the
one.
game is called the Wavebird. I actually have one inside my coffee table. But they were awesome. Like there's a little unit that you plug into your GameCube and you sync it up to the channel and then you turn it on and everything. Xbox came out in 2001.
Fuck Xbox, they're so shitty. I hate Xbox. I will tell you right now,
But-
I love Nintendo, yes, but if it comes between Sony and Xbox, I'm a Sony. I will always be a Sony.
See, I've been kind of on the fence between the generations. Like, I have a PS2, but I have an Xbox 360.
Ugh, I have an original Xbox, but the only reason I got that is because I had Fable.
No, absolutely.
Fable
is by far one of my favorite games.
And if anybody says that any of the other Fables but the first one is good, you guys are
No,
liars.
Fable 2 is good.
No.
Fable, yes it was.
No.
Yes it was. Fable 2, I really liked Fable 2.
No,
I really
Fable 1
enjoyed
is-
Fable 2. Fable 3 was...
And then there's that
Okay.
stupid what do you
There's
move it one.
the Kinect one.
Don't play the Kinect, it's a piece of shit.
So that was actually... So Kinect came out in 2010.
That sounds about right, yeah.
So that came out. But the 360 came out in 2005. But it was a big success.
It makes me feel old.
It
really makes
trust
me
me,
feel
going,
old.
Going through some of these dates made me feel super old.
I'm like, oh my god, really? Did that really
It's
come
like
out then?
95?
No, that doesn't make
Yeah.
sense.
But the downside though with the 360 is massive hardware problems.
Mhm.
Red Ring of Death.
I had
Guaranteed
so many of them.
everybody, like almost anybody that's owned an Xbox 360 has had a Red Ring of Death.
It's a pain in the freaking ass. But my buddy, he taught me how to rewire it.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing.
There are ways to fix it.
As much as I say.
But they actually increased their hardware warranty from 1 year to 3 years.
But I'm going to tell you guys right
And-
now, if you wind up actually having a console, there are ways. I mean, if you want to spend the money in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
But if you actually know the console, you can actually upgrade it to make it really, really well.
You can, yep.
Like, better than a PC. And I'm a PC gamer, but...
Now, the 360 was actually the first kind of introduction of multiple different types of the same console. So they had like the original 360, they had the Elite 360, they had the Slim, the Arcade, and a few other like different ones with different configurations.
All
and
I can
stuff
say
like
is PlayStation Slim is a piece of shit. The one that slides
that. Yeah.
open, because I'm sorry, when it has to slide open and you have to slide it closed, your discs are getting fucking damaged with dust. And I'm sorry,
Now-
I can't even stand if somebody even steps on a case, even though there's not a disc in it. And I'm like, no, my case.
Well, you were talking a little bit before about Blu-ray. So when the PlayStation 3 first came out in 2006, that was the first console. 2006 in North America.
I feel
that
old.
was the first console to support Blu-ray. Because Sony, a lot of people, I didn't actually realize this until 6 years ago. But Sony actually owns the rights to Blu-ray.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm not surprised.
when they were doing the format wars, like whether it was like HD DVD or Blu-ray, because HD DVD, there's actually an attachment that you could get for the 360 to have like HD DVD movies, but didn't gain the traction that Blu-ray did.
See, I'm a filmer, so I like it, and now I buy discs where it has the normal DVD
and the Blu-ray one,
and then digital copy, so you can put it on your phone, your computer.
It's smart though.
It is
because you're buying the movie, you're gonna want to watch it on.
I bought the
platforms.
Return of the Cape Crusaders, so.
And the interesting part of the PS3 is that it was completely backwards compatible up until 2012.
They just recently.
Yeah,
I was gonna say they just recently.
So 2012, when they actually ended the support.
I was able to play my PS1 games on there for a while, PS2 games, and then all of a sudden you can't.
So, kind of in that same generation, the Nintendo Wii, massive success for.
I love the Wii.
I love the Wii. So game like overall, like I love GameCube, love the system, but it wasn't like as well received as PS2 or Xbox 3, Xbox One.
The Wii was actually, that's what I played a lot of because I played the Just Dances games.
Yeah.
And I also played Mario Kart.
They still sell those for the Wii.
I know.
Not Wii U. Well, they do for the Wii U, but still for the Wii, which is crazy.
Okay, Just Dances, honestly, are not just dancing. It's actually like a workout game.
Yeah, because you're moving.
I mean, unless you're like cheap and you just move your arm and sit on the couch, but those are lazy.
Now, the one thing that I did love about the Wii is that it was backwards compatible with GameCube games.
Yes.
And backwards compatibility for me is a big issue.
That's
because
why computers. There are ways to get around it. Like, there's emulators.
If you know what you're doing, yeah.
Like, for me, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I literally have found ways to play Xbox 360 games.
You can get like emulators and ROMs and stuff like that.
Games. I have literally found ways to play every freaking game. Literally, I'm not trying to, whatever you hear.
Yep.
But if you're on a PC, you play any game. Any game if you know what you're doing. If you know what you're doing, you can literally, you don't need to buy all these consoles. Like, I have a PlayStation 3, and I'm going to tell you right now, the only reason I use it is for Netflix. Other than that, I'm on my PC.
That's the funny part, too. Yeah. But streaming
I can get PC, I can get Netflix on my PC as well.
But having, like, that app ecosystem in your console is actually super important.
I use YouTube like there's no tomorrow on my PlayStation.
Absolutely.
So. But, like, that's what I like. But what I'm saying is that's what also I like, because my TV has Netflix built into it, too.
Okay, so you have a smart TV, yeah.
Yes, I do. And how I see it, I have a dumb TV.
I have a dumb TV.
I have a dumb TV. But how I see it as, you literally don't have to go out and buy those $500 consoles. You literally just need to know, like, research and know what you're doing. Me, I didn't know what I was doing until my buddy showed me.
And have a decent network.
Exactly. My landlords, I pay unlimited internet right now. They have unlimited internet, the fastest internet you can get because they're all gamers upstairs.
Is it the Xbox or the Rogers Gigabit?
I'm not sure.
Because right now that's the fastest, which is crazy.
Whatever it is, all I know is that upstairs they're gamers. So when you're gamers, you gotta have the best fucking internet you can have. I'm not kidding. You can't.
It depends. It depends on how much you. It depends on how much you game.
I game a lot, and the fact that I can find every game that's on a console for my PC because I
which is pretty nice, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't have to go out and spend $500 on a PC.
Yeah.
On a console. I can literally. Shut up. I'm sick as hell.
Same.
But for
me, you can't use that excuse because it's the exact same.
But how I see it as, if you have a PC and you know what you're doing, you literally can get any game that you have on a console on your PC, even without an emulator. I'm not kidding.
No,
there is ways. Trust me, I know.
There are ways.
But how I see it as, if you don't want to go and buy a new console every so many years, and you want to stick to your PC, because I built a $3,000 PC, I want to keep it that way. I mean, it got sold by a retard, but you know.
Whatever.
Behind my back.
But, so for jumping back to the Wii, so it had backwards compatibility for the games and the controllers. So it actually had like GameCube ports.
I know, because I used to use the GameCube to play certain games. Mario Kart, I used to use the GameCube controller.
Yeah.
Because for me, the Wii U didn't work. And I'm going to tell you right now, when I played...
didn't work?
I didn't like it.
You didn't like the control? I
didn't.
See, and that's the thing, though, like, because controllers have... If you actually look at all the...
I guess I'm old-fashioned. I like controllers.
But see, and that's the surprising part about the Wii Remote, is because if you flip to the side, it's basically and original Nintendo controller, just like scaled down a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't like the holding of it wise.
I loved it.
Like,
I really liked it.
With Guitar Hero, I never used the guitar because I couldn't do it. I had to use the
What?
controller. And people, like, listen
No
to this.
way.
People thought I was talented. You know, because you can use a controller.
Yeah.
I said, I can't do the whole mimicking of the strumming and the
So you can't play guitar.
I can't. I'm a keyboardist, so when it comes to, you know. So people are like, how the hell do you play it on controller? I'm like, it's really not that hard.
Yeah,
it's just not. When you throw in the orange key, when there's an X, that's hard.
Yeah.
But, I mean, how I see it as, if you... Console and PC, they're similar in a way.
Oh, they definitely are.
They all have their pros, they all have their cons.
Well, see, and that's actually what I'm kind of circling back to on the current gen consoles. So, like, PS, or I'll really quickly...
I don't know PS4 yet, so...
But the Wii U...
Boxing Day.
So the Wii U came out in 2002. So that was kind of the start of the, I guess now, previous gen of consoles. And it was still all backwards compatible with the Wii games, but not GameCube.
What I do like about the Wii U is the fact that if somebody wanted to go and watch TV, you can continue playing your game.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
That's the one thing I did like.
Yeah, so you can actually play your game on the tablet, like on the Wii U controller, and not have to do it. That was a huge draw for me, because if Amanda and Sage, like my my wife and daughter, if they want to watch like Walking Dead, for example, on the TV, I'm like, yeah, go nuts. And I literally one button press, and I'm playing on
continue playing. That's the one thing I like.
Now, downside on that is you're limited within 10 feet, I believe.
Yeah.
Like 10 or 12 feet.
I have an original DS. Like an original...
Yep.
Bulky DS, and now they have like all these slimmy ones. I have a bulky DS, and I have Batman Lego on it, obviously.
The Lego games are always super fun.
I love the Lego games.
Yep.
If you ever play Lego games, they're the greatest games. I think, honestly.
Your mom loves them too.
My mom loves Lego games. She has every single Lego game except for the newest Marvel one.
Okay.
Because it just came out.
Yeah.
But every Lego
just
game...
recently?
Yeah. She was watching the gameplay at Fan Expo.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
So, but Lego games are so much fun. I find them so much fun. And the movies are great. I'm so happy they're bringing Lego movies. I went and saw the Lego movie. I laughed my ass off.
Oh, it's hilarious. It's
awesome.
Great.
Batman's... I'm happy they kept the same Batman as they did in the original thing.
Yeah.
But if you haven't seen any Lego movies or you haven't played any games,
should.
Oh my god. I beat the Pirates of the Caribbean Lego.
See, I haven't played that. I have
I
have the Lego Indiana Jones.
My mom has all three.
That, and I have Lego Star Wars. I have the whole saga. And
you know what's awesome to have a parent that actually likes gaming? It's a blessing.
The amount of times that I've tried to get my parents into gaming is...
My mom's a Call of Duty freak. She does better than I do.
My mom doesn't... Like, my mom struggles to navigate the Xbox 360.
That's why. Xbox is... If you look at a PS, like PlayStation, their controls are different.
But all of them are different.
You know how hard that is for me to go from PC to a console when it comes to
Do you know how hard it is going from, like a Nintendo Switch to a 360? Because your X button's in a different spot. Your A button's in a different spot. Like, your
See,
controller
we do WSD, right? Like, we're like this, or the arrow keys, and a mouse, and then when we go to console, we want to be like this, but we have to be like this. So it's like... I've played console gaming, obviously. I'm a Call of Duty freak. I will play Call of Duty and I will kick your ass.
So, current gen is PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. Well, actually, hang on, because I'm gonna take Nintendo Switch out of that because that's not that's current gen, but the previous ones aren't. So PS4 and the Xbox One, those came out in 2013 with...
Wait.
Yeah, 2013.
Really? I swear to God they just came out like 2 years ago.
Nope, 2013. So that's when they were originally released. They have been redesigned. And there's the PS4 Pro coming out, and there's the different Xbox Ones and stuff like that.
I'm getting a PS4 soon. I'm so
pumped.
I'm waiting for Boxing Day sales or Black Friday sales.
That's understandable.
Because they've slowly lowered the price.
Yes.
Because the new PlayStation 5 is supposed to be coming out like next year, late next year.
No way, not next year, because they just released the PS Pro.
I'm a leaker. I read leaks.
Okay.
It's supposed to come out by Christmas next year, and if that's the case...
But it would be...
and if it is, PlayStation 5 is supposed to be $1,500.
No way.
Enjoy.
Not doing it. See, that's what I mean. Way too much for a
Whereas
console.
PC is cheaper.
Way too much for a console. There's no way that would be the price point.
How I tell people,
Not
I
a
said,
chance.
yes, console's cool. I like consoles.
I love consoles.
But PC does have cheaper value.
Well, when it comes to value, though, your gaming rig, can you take it with you?
You can actually.
If you're a desktop?
No, listen.
No way.
Listen.
Can you play it on the bus?
I have found ways to connect my Steam and my Origin, because they have apps now, on my phone.
Can you play PC games on the bus?
You can, if you have Steam and Origin app.
And an internet connection.
That's the side.
Unless it's like local, like saved locally on your PC.
That's the downfall.
But that's what I'm bringing up with Nintendo Switch, because Nintendo Switch just got released this year in March, and
I want to play it.
It's the first home console that you can take with you. Huge draw for me, because when you don't have time, like if you're commuting, your living room console is literally in your hands, and when you come home, you slide it on the dock and you play on your TV. It's so easy to use.
It's the only downfall with, like, as I said, the only thing I do like about computers is, like, I have my option of modding my games.
Absolutely.
So they fit my...
Well, see, and I just kind of flooded you with... We should probably wrap up soonish, because I think we went over. But I just flooded you with, like, a whole bunch of dates and, like, basically, like, the history of consoles, which is huge. Like, it's expansive.
I didn't get much to say in this episode, it seems.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think we should do like a part 2, kind of continued on that, kind of diving into more detail instead of just like a general overview.
Like,
because there are a whole bunch of different.
There's perks to PC and there's perks to console. It's how it works.
100%. And
I just prefer PC. Whenever I went to my friend's place, and if I'm so used to mouse and keyboard, and if I ever went to play at their place, they made me have a controller. Now, this sounds silly, because me being who I am, I'd be like, how do you use this?
Hey, just
because I'm used to being like this, not like this.
But you said you have a PS3, yes?
I do, but I only really use it for Netflix. I do have Shadows of Mordor, and Shadows of War is coming out. I'm so excited. And
when is that released?
I think it's October. And I want to... I know, I wish.
Okay.
I'm going to research it, because I want to go to the midnight, like, to pick it up.
Midnight release? Nice.
Yes. I've gone to midnight release for so many games. I've literally, like, forced myself. I'm like, I gotta be at work for 7 a.m., but fuck this shit. I'm getting the game. I'm gonna play it all night.
Yep. I've had those nights. I think we should wrap this episode up.
If you prefer PC over console, or console over PC, just mark it below.
Yeah, leave a comment below. But I definitely think we should pick this up in a part 2 later on. Because I think there's a lot of things that I would be really curious to know
the history
about.
of PC?
Yeah,
PC
definitely.
has been around since 1920, but it was more of a military
1920?
use. Yeah. They're, like,
Really?
1920 was the computer, but it was only used by military. Like CIA.
Interesting.
And governmental.
Now,
It didn't get a release to the actual community until 1980.
Now, are you talking about, like, the introduction of technology, or, like, personal computer? Because PC is personal computer. Are you talking about, like, personal computer, like, terminal?
I'm talking internet.
Internet, yes. But I'm talking about, like,
they weren't
actual,
until
just
1972.
Interesting.
But they didn't get actually released to the public to use until 1984.
Okay.
Because it was all personally government and military.
Oh, and hobbyists too. That's that was actually kind of the big start of a lot of PCs and a lot of, like, home computers is hobbyists, because when, like, now we take it for advantage with like graphical user interfaces and everything. We really take it advantage when you take a look at like older systems and stuff like that don't have, like, that graphical user interface.
Like, my mom even says when she was in high school, they just got computers.
Yeah.
Like, just got computers. There wasn't much on the internet. Now you can find anything you want on the internet.
You can find us on the internet.
I know, right? You know, the Geeky Drinkers, no big deal.
Yeah.
But my mom was my mom was always a gamer. She used to rock the arcade with Miss Pac-Man.
Of course.
She would dominate. So everyone's like, "Oh, you have a cool mom." I said, "Yeah, I guess so." I mean, I hate playing Call of Duty with her because she fucking reams my ass.
Well, no, yeah.
She's really good, but she has years on me of gaming.
Well,
I don't. Yeah. Like,
That's
when I was
true.
younger or whatever, I mean, I played games and stuff. My mom was like, it's weird. If you ever have a parent out there that actually games, you're so lucky.
Absolutely, you are.
I love my mom.
We should probably wrap up, though.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this was a good debate.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely a heated debate at the start. So I'm excited. I'm excited and looking forward to part 2, maybe even part 3, depending on how things go. I actually think this could be like an ongoing. I want to say ongoing battle, but like an ongoing debate on how things are. And chime in. Like I know we would love to.
I know there's a lot of people that play League of Legends, Warcraft, all that stuff. That's PC only.
And see, that's the other thing too, is that there is 100%.
RuneScape.
There is a lot of nice name drop. There are a lot of games that I miss out on because I'm a console gamer. Like League of Legends.
It's like me. I can't miss out on a lot of games because I'm a console gamer. But as I said, you can get any game you want on console if you know what you're doing.
On console or PC?
PC, sorry.
Are you sure you didn't mean console?
Oh my god, shut up. I have to pee. Hurry up.
Alright, with that, we'll end the episode, wrap it up. So, as always, stay geeky. And we will see you next week.